Exercise 12.2 Problem 4 Discussion. So let's read the problem. If a die is rolled twice, find the probability of getting an even number in the first time or a total of 8. It's a little complicated, but we'll do it, nothing to worry. There are two events. One is, so two dice is thrown, okay, and we want to get the probability of getting an even number in the first throw. And you want to get or 8. So this is event A, this is event B. And when they say or means it is union, and means intersection, or means union. So you are asked to find probability of A or B, which means probability of A union B. So we have to use a formula. If we have to find probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. So you have to find probability of A. A is nothing but even number in the first time, and B is getting a total of 8. So the first step in all this case is to list out the sample space. Sample space, what are all the possible ways you will get outcome. You know, two dice are rolled. The first die can give you 6 outcomes. The second die can give you 6 possible outcomes. So 6 into 6, 36 outcomes are there. So list it out. Select the outcomes which are favorable for A and find probability of A. Select the outcomes which are favorable to B and find probability of B. And select the outcomes which are favorable to A and B. A and B are happening together. That is, the first number is even and the total is 8. Find A intersection B. Then substitute all these three in the formula. Probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. And you'll be able to calculate it. Okay. So keep this in the mind. So let's, anyway, I've marked everything. So die is rolled twice. So let's list out. So die is rolled twice. We are asked to find probability of getting an even number in the first time or a total of 8. So there are two events, A or B. Okay. So A union B. The formula is probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Okay. So what will be the first step? We have to find A and then B and then A intersection B. But before all these things, to find A, we have to get the sample space. So list the sample space for a rolling die twice and find n of s. So this is the first step. Next, let A be the event of getting an even number in the first time. So first roll, you have to get an even number. And B be the event of getting a total of 8 in the two throws. Okay. So we have defined now the two events, right? So next you have to list the outcomes of A, which is favorable to event A, outcomes to favorable to event B, and A and B also can happen, right? The first die can be even, and at the second time the sum of the two first die and the second die can be also A. So you have A and B also. So list out all these outcomes and find n of A, n of B, and n of A intersection B. Okay. Thereafter, calculate probability of A using probability of A is n of A divided by n of S. Okay. And similarly, find probability of B and probability of A intersection B. Okay. So once this is done, substitute those values in the formula. Probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. This we just calculated, this is calculated. This is calculated. So which means with these three you will be able to calculate probability of A union B, which is nothing but probability of A or B happening. That is what they are asking, right? A or. Okay, please remember or means union and means intersection. So or B. So probability of A or B or probability of A union B can be calculated. Okay, so let's do this formula. So in rolling a die, you get the sample spaces, all 36 outcomes are there. I think I've told this in the previous exercise. So let's start with 1. The first die giving you 1, and the second die can give you 6 possible outcomes. It can give you 1, it can give you 2, it can give you 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now change this first die giving you 2. Similarly, now move right, that is the second die giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Similarly, keep moving down with the first die giving you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and repeat these steps for the second die. So you get the entire sample space. So this is the possible outcomes of rolling a 2 die. So this is all the total sample space. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 6 rows. So 6 into 6, 36 outcomes are there. And this also can be calculated. First die can give you 6 outcomes. Second die can give you 6 outcomes. So 6 into 6, 36. That is another way of checking whether you have listed all the outcomes. So now we have the sample space. Now we have to select the all the events which are favorable to event A, which is getting an even number. First number is even number. So here the first number in this row is all 1. So this is all not applicable. This, all the elements in this row is starting with 2, even number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 elements outcomes are there in this row for us. This is not applicable because they start with even number. This is applicable because they start with an even number 4. So this is not applicable as they are starting with element 5. This is applicable because they are starting with an even number 6. So altogether for event A, which is getting an even number in the first row, you have 18 outcomes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there are 3 rows, 18 outcomes which is favorable for event A. And the total number of outcomes is 36. So it is 18 divided by 36 is the probability of getting A. I have done it here. What I have done is I have listed all the elements which I was explaining to you. So A is the first row where the 2 is the starting point. Then it is 4 and then 6. So all these outcomes are favorable to A, right? And there are total 18. So which means probability of A is 18 by 36. Now B be the event of getting a total of 8 in rolling 2 dice. So we have to go back to the sample space. So what are the outcomes which are favorable to event B? You have to get 8 as a total. See, this is 1, 1 plus 1, 2. This is 3, this is 4, 3, 1 plus 3, 4. So all these things will not work. This also will not work. This 2, 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Okay, now come here. 3 plus 5, 8. This outcome is favorable. Now this is favorable, right? Because 4 plus 4 is 8. Now again come here, 5, 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. This is favorable. Then 6, 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outcomes are favorable. So these are the 5 outcomes. N of B is 5. So probability of B is N of B divided by N of S, that is 5 by 36. Finished. Now next we have to calculate probability of A intersection B. But again, so A and B together it has to happen. Okay. So this time don't need to go to the sample space because it's easiest thing is to go to either A or C, because these are all A and B happening means it will be A and B. So you don't need to go to sample space. But instead of going to A, let's go to B because it's got only 5 elements. So easy for us to find A and A intersection B. So what is A intersection B? The first term has to be even and the total has to be 8. Total has to be 8 is satisfied here. Now we'll have to pick only the terms for which the first term is even. So this outcome is A intersection B. This is A intersection B and this is A intersection B. The first element is even and the sum is 2 plus 6, 8. First element is even, 4 plus 4 is 8. First element is 6 and 6 plus 2 is 8. So it fulfills A intersection B. So these are the 3 outcomes which fulfills A intersection B, and N of A union B intersection B is 3, or probability of A intersection B is 3 divided by 36. Now by addition theorem on probabilities, we have probability of A union B is probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Substitute this value is probability of A is 18 by 36. Probability of B we just calculated 5 by 36 here, right? 5 by 36 here. And probability of A intersection B we just calculated 3 by 36. Substitute all these values. So 36 is LCM. 18 plus 5, 23, 23 minus 3 is 20, so it's 20 by 36, or 4 will go 5 times, 4 will go 9 times. So the probability of A or B, which is probability of A and B, equal to 5 by 9. Okay, so let's recap it. So first thing, you have to list out the sample space. Next, find find n of A. So list out the elements of A, which is getting an even number. Okay, and the first row, and then find n of A, find probability of A. Next, define event B as the one getting a total of 8. So go to the sample space and find out the outcomes, which gives a total of 8 in rolling the dice. Add and check the number of outcomes and find probability of B. Then find probability of A and B happening together. That is, the first die has to give an even number and the total has to be 8. In this time, you don't need to go to sample space. Go to to the event B, because this is A and B together, right? So the outcome has to be in both A and B. It is better to go to B because B has got less number of entries. And from this, find which outcomes are both conditions fulfilled. And this is this, and this 3 outcomes, right? So n of A intersection B, A intersection B, you have listed out the elements, and then find n of A intersection B, which is 3. From there, you can find the probability of A intersection B. Once you know probability of A, B, and A intersection B, substitute in this formula and get the value of probability of A union B. Okay. So I hope I made it clear. If not, please go through one more time. It will become clear. Thanks for watching this video.